just allows for our.
Yeah, and then we just
Jump
put it back together.
And then we
But
just
this
put it
is a
back
great time for me to paint.
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, and I'd love for you to share too, once we put the podcast back on, a little bit of other stuff.
Yeah. Sounds
Your
good.
dad.
Yeah.
Very special.
Yes. All the signs I started seeing after he passed away, which was
Yeah, when did he?
actually that was before I got sick. That was before.
So how long ago did your dad pass?
He passed away August 2019.
August what? Do you remember the date?
Oh, 24th? Yeah.
444.
444.
Oh my
That
God. See? She looks at her
444.
phone and it's 444.
So this is this really cool book that I got, Angel Numbers 101.
Okay, so I love angel numbers. And do what 444. Ooh, you guys, she's going to say what 444 is with angel numbers.
444. There are angels. They're everywhere around you. You are completely loved, supported, and guided by many heavenly beings, and you have nothing to fear. Oh my gosh, I just got goosebumps.
Too, you guys. You can't make this up.
You
have
can't
to
make
share
that
with
up.
Tiffany.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, hey?
This is this shit that like when I went to this random park and then your mom was sharing about your dad, like she shared a lot of things and I shared a bit about my personal stuff that I was going through about the medical medium, because that's what happened to me. I put on my vision board. So I've got a big vision board in my room and I put on there clean eating, organic. This is my fucking dream board.
Yeah.
Okay, so I put all my shit on there and then all of a sudden what happened? I got sick. I had parasites, I had gastrointestinal, all these things. I wished for organic, clean, healthy eating, healthy body from the inside and out, and a nice body, all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You're always going to get what you're asked, like what you want. It's just going to come to you in a different way.
It may not look like
what you wanted.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm like thinking, oh, I'm just going to eat healthy and it's going to be great.
I want to talk about that too, because when I asked for guidance, I didn't receive it in the way that I was expecting or thinking. You think, oh, I'm just going to heal.
That's
or
right.
Like I met you and I met, certain other people or...
That's how it works.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like people will be like, oh, I'm like calling in my soulmate or I'd like to have love. Well, first, before your love is going to come in, you need to heal in order to align with the soulmate that is right for you. You need to be at that level. You can't just, and that's the same with healthy eating.
Yeah.
It's like with healthy eating for me, I had to get sick before I had to eliminate all the things that were keeping me unhealthy.
Right.
And then redirect myself.
Right.
It was just brutal.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tiff, I'm filling you in quickly. Like, we were just talking about my vision board.
Yes.
And basically, I asked from on my like dream board that I wanted to have organic, healthy eating, flat stomach, all these things. Like, I've got a huge list. And then all of a sudden I get sick.
Oh.
Well, I asked for all of this, but I needed to have a redirection into the right direction by getting sick. Yeah. For me then to get the medical medium. My good friend Jillian, she drops off the book and it's the medical medium and that's how it happened in my life. And then for us to be sitting here today, meeting your mom at a park, which has you on the show, and with Tiffany, like, this is all divinely guided. If you allow it to be guided, you will have a wicked life.
What we were saying is that you asked for guidance, and it may not show up exactly how you envision it to show up.
You actually have to be very specific in the things that you ask for.
Yeah.
Or it just comes in its own way.
But share with her what just happened.
Then we were just talking about that, and then all of a sudden I look at my phone and it says 444. It's 444, and so we look it up and read it in this book, Angel Numbers 101. So there are angels, they're everywhere around you. You are completely loved, supported, and guided by many heavenly beings, and you have nothing to fear.
Aww.
Isn't that so beautiful?
It's so beautiful.
I've been seeing that a lot lately.
444?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
good.
I've been seeing 555 a lot lately too.
Amazing.
Oh, okay.
Do I know what that means?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. This is fitting. Huge changes are rumbling throughout your entire life. To keep these changes on the highest possible course, be sure to keep your thoughts positive and stay centered in prayer and affirmations.
So next level.
Cool, right?
Love it, Natalie.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
This is so powerful.
Cool.
Yeah.
So powerful.
Yeah.
Tiffany, I love your look, by the way.
You like it?
Yeah. Your hair looks dope. You're
You look good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Looking fiery.
Yeah.
Bounce.
Yes. All of you, and you look amazing.
You look
I think
amazing,
we
too.
all are very cute.
Yeah.
You're so cute. And I love how we have the same color eyes.
Yes, you guys, like, they're like identical. Like, it's
Your
a
eyes
wild.
are really cool though. You have like
Hers are like
Hazel.
green,
yellow,
brown, yellow.
green, yeah. Whoa.
She's
crazy.
another. She's a different being. We're all different
Yeah.
star seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So where are we?
Yeah, we
Where
are.
We still, I feel like we still have so much to touch on.
Yeah.
Well, it's all the fun stuff.
all the
Like,
fun stuff. What came out of all
going
of that?
through the dark. You got to go through the dark to then appreciate the light, and then you own and you're grateful for that.
So I recently read something that was really cool that resonated with me. So if you think about your life experiences like a pendulum or like a swing, say like a swing, you're pushing your kid on the swing, you push them, if you push them only like a little bit, they're only going to go forward a little bit and they're going to come back a little bit, right? If you push your kid really far, like what happened to me, like I got pushed freaking far. Like I went far into the dark. Well, guess what? You're going to swing that much further back into the light.
Woo!
Wow.
Right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
love
love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, what with what Shiona was talking about when we were doing our level 1, and she was talking about
Level 1, she was
that-
meaning Reiki.
level 1 Reiki. It disappeared
Sorry,
from
did
my
I just
mind.
mess that
No, you didn't. It kind of disappeared just before.
Like she was talking about. It's a dick in a box.
There it
It's a dick in a box, baby.
Oh, fuck. What
And
was
the
she
light just
talking
went lighter. Look.
Yeah.
That's way better. I look really tan there.
You do look tan. I was like, oh, I
You
like
look
your
really tan. Maybe it's because you're beside me.
beside both of us.
It's all the carrots
We're both
and
light.
the beets and
coming out.
I think it's like my native skin too. Like I could look like I'm tanning when I'm not,
Oh, interesting.
but I have not really.
She has been, so
I
that would
have
be
been.
the answer. Oh my god.
But it's been like 2 weeks. Like
Since you haven't?
Yeah.
Or did?
What do you mean
Yeah.
tanning?
I just I don't know why.
What'd you do?
I just
You
started
went tanning?
tanning.
In a
I
bed?
know.
No.
Yeah.
No, don't do it.
Just once in a blue moon. I don't go
Well,
very
you
often.
have. I'm like white.
Yeah.
But I had to have moles removed off my back. from
Did
tanning.
you?
I went like on a
Oh, yeah.
tanning frenzy.
Oh,
in high school.
I
So
did
did
that
I.
too,
Yeah.
actually.
So did I.
I did
So
that
bad.
too. I was just more doing it for self-care. Like, I
It was
wasn't
for,
doing it for
it
the
was
look
for the
or
light.
anything.
It was
Yeah.
for the... I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back for a second. So what was the tipping point? So yes, you're doing medical medium. Yes, you're incorporating this new way for your health, advocating for yourself. And then you were saying that you got the counselor.
Yep.
And then what?
I started meditating. So my counselor suggested that I start meditating. And I never had really been a meditator. I never meditated before.
Or spiritual.
No, I was never really into like anything like that. So I think like physically the tipping point was when I started reading medical medium and following his protocol. But like the other pieces, which are so important, that was around the time, I started meditating and then I met you and then I went to go see Nicky. And right around that time is where things like started majorly shifting for me. Yeah. Yes, Nicky. Like, I don't know, man, what you did, but yeah, I would say it like woke me up in a way.
Nice.
Yeah, it really woke me up to a lot of things that were more spiritual, which I feel have had like a really, really, really big impact as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
It's your perception things now
Yeah.
are so much more refreshing.
Yeah.
Less judgment, more love.
Yeah.
Self-love.
Yeah.
Self-love.
I mean, I'm working on it. That and like,
got it.
Say it.
What I was, so Shiona talked about the reasons why we were here, and I always believed it was because, like, to find happiness, like, that was our purpose. But the purpose was to share.
oh.
So she made that very clear, like, to share ideas, information.
Always.
On Earth.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That's all
yes.
that I do.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's all that I do.
Whoa. That's what we're doing.
Yes, and that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, and
Whoa,
this isn't going to be your
crazy.
last time either, because I mean, when you're talking about the pendulum swinging, like the swing set, it did fucking almost throw you off the swing.
Oh, yeah.
But now you're swinging back
Yeah.
with the knowledge that you
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. Totally.
Just putting it out
So,
there.
great point.
I know.
Good job.
right?
Should have loved everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you open to sharing a little bit of like some of Nicky's stuff? Like anything spiritual came through? Or what about your dad? Anything like that?
Okay, let's see. I think when the whole spiritual thing started for me actually is last summer I started freaking looking at the clock and constantly seeing 11:11. To the point where I was like, I can't ignore this anymore. Like, open up Google, what the hell does 11:11 mean? Because when you look at the clock and it's 11:11 and then you wake up in the middle of the night or at 11:11, it's like, okay,
Or
why is it
1:11?
1:11, 11:11, constant for days straight. So I was like, what the hell? So I looked it up and I started paying more attention to these like numbers and synchronicities.
Yeah, I
and
was just
stuff
going to say
like
the
that.
synchronicities of things.
Yeah, and then so I've never, I guess, aside from that, received anything from my dad.
I thought of one thing.
What?
The thing that you shared with me
Oh,
at the site.
in the house?
No, before that. When you were at the site. And the thing on the-
Oh, okay. I wasn't there, but this happened to my mom.
This is cool. I just think
This
it's a
is
good one
really
to share.
cool. Yeah, this is. So, after my dad passed away, he was cremated, and my mom, we spread his ashes in North Van at Kate's Park. And my mom and my grandma and her sister were all there, sitting in the car. They were going to go visit. And so on the radio, you know how our car dashboards, it wasn't a sophisticated one. It was one that was like digital, like writing that goes across it over and over and over
like
to
an
display
older
the
car.
name of the radio station.
Yeah.
Or the name of the artist or the song.
Yeah.
So they're sitting there,
I
and
always
out
look
of
for that,
nowhere, across this display says T-cell lymphoma. T-cell lymphoma. That's what my dad passed away from.
Oh.
He had lymphoma, T-cell lymphoma. Like,
You can't make
that,
this up.
you would never see that on a radio.
Ever.
Like, I'm sorry, but no radio station is broadcasting that shit.
Oh, hell no. Is there a song that's called T-cell lymphoma?
I
I don't
hope
think
not.
so.
That would be a pretty depressing song. But anyway, so, and then at that exact same moment, my grandma's watch stopped. So that was pretty wild that happened to them.
There's no coincidence.
No, there's no
Yeah.
coincidence
No,
there
I
whatsoever.
It's just your dad. And your
Yeah.
dad, like right now, I'm just like he
She's
had
zoning out.
Yeah, he had a plan.
Oh,
and
he
for
must
you.
have.
Like for the fact of me meeting you and your mom.
I know.
And now you're fucking sitting here.
I know. It's wild.
Come on.
It's wild.
Come on.
I don't care.
Where are we going?
Like,
Where are we going?
you know what? I don't know where we're going, but I'm grateful that we're going somewhere. And
Yeah.
the unknown
Together.
is okay. And this is so
Together.
cool.
Yeah.
Forever.
Into the unknown.
Yes.
Oh, she's a singer.
She's got a throat
too.
chakra opening
I'm
up.
practicing, yeah.
Good girl.
Yeah.
Shit.
So,
Yeah,
okay, so that was a special moment from your dad.
Yeah, and I started seeing this 11:11,
Yeah.
11:11, whatever. And I've always been into numbers, like numerology. I don't know, I always loved looking at numbers. And I read when I looked up 11:11, it could be a message from your loved one, and they may have realized that the only way to get through to you is through numbers. Like it can be one of the meanings it can be.
That's
so
right.
anyway, that's what I took it as. And so all this stuff had happened, and then I meet you. I go to see Nicky, and that's where things really started to open up for me. So she did a reading for me. My dad never came through in the reading, but one of my guides did. And what did she say? She basically told me that I need to that I've always been readily there and available and there for everybody else in my life, but now it's time to be there for myself, for me.
Boom, shakalaka.
Drop
the ding-a-dong.
And that I need to set aside time for myself. Mm-hmm. What else?
Different from what you were doing before. This is different.
Exactly.
Energetically, self-care is ideally, because now you're ridding your mind of any of the thoughts and stresses that you've been harboring for the day, the week, whatever.
Yeah.
We need a break from that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why meditation's good too.
Oh yeah, I love meditation. Now I can't imagine my life without it. Now that I started doing it.
This is why people like the gym too, because you're not thinking about anything except what you're doing, and it's literally recharging your brain.
Yeah, it's your serotonin levels.
Oh, yeah,
and that's also meditation. Mm-hmm. You're tapping into places that nobody can ever tap into.
Yeah, that's
right. Because you're in a calm, quiet, collective place, and it's free.
It's free. Yes.
Fucking free 99. You can't make this shit up, guys. It's free. Guys, healthcare, is actually sick care. Okay, it's sick care.
Sick care.
Dude, you don't go to get to your health and go to a doctor. You're not getting better and you're off your medication. You're on it forever and you keep getting it. It's sick care.
Yeah. There's a place for it. Like, I'm thankful for medicine.
Yeah. Oh, and I agree.
In those places that I was in. But honestly, that's not going to get me anywhere else. That's not going to...
No. It's going to get you out of the red zone danger.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And I'm not saying anything bad about doctors. Everyone's doing the best they can with what they have. But
it only gets you so
far. It's free. It's meditation.
Meditate. Well, had you not had Eastern or Western medicine, you may not be here.
Well, exactly.
Of course.
Yeah, but then there's layers that you can build on top of it. Like that only gets you so far.
Yeah.
And so,
but now just imagine from what she knows, and her kids are never going to have to see that light, because what you're putting into them and what you're instilling, mind, body, soul connection, because it's not just about the medical system and going on a prescription or whatever. Natalie, Tiffany, and myself are healing our emotional sides, our inner child, and that has a huge piece. It's 50% of why we get the ailments that we do. Because it's harbored emotion, blockages, not speaking our truth, being abused, not talking about it, being in fear, closing ourselves off. We have to tap into that.
Even like I was saying to you, what I've like realized lately is that, you know, even though I had the one counselor that I had and she was great, you had messaged me one day again out of the blue, like, downloaded message from Kristen. Hey, how's it going with your counselor? She asked me out of nowhere. And I'm like,
she does that. She does that. Sends these little seeds of reminders. It's hilarious.
What the heck, man? So anyways, I ended up switching counselors to one that was recommended by you, Lisa.
We love you, Lisa.
I love you, Lisa. So one day, I had been seeing my counselor for a while, and we weren't going that deep, I guess. Like, we had done meditations together. She'd done like guided meditations for me. The freaking first phone call with Lisa, within 10 minutes of talking to her, all she had asked me was like, okay, so tell me about Still's disease. Clearly I had so much fear and stuff that was like unresolved in my body, because I started talking and started crying, and it got to the point where she was like, I am hearing like how are you feeling right now? Like, tell me where, like, close your eyes and tell me what you're feeling in your body. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, like I have this like clenching pit in my stomach. And she was like, that's fear.
Yes.
You know? And like, it was just so crazy that literally within the first 5 to 10 minutes of my conversation with her, it came out that basically I was crying because I had this fear. And what was this fear? It was a fear of death. Like, literally within 10 minutes of speaking with this woman,
she was just like,
we cleared this fear that I had. And I felt so much lighter. And yeah, there's so much to be said for like what we store emotionally.
Yes.
And it doesn't even have to be something you register as a trauma. Like, for me, that was a trauma for sure. But if you look back in your childhood, like, I come from a really, what I would consider normal, awesome family, you know, like, I can't think back of any trauma that I would have gone through, but I found myself doing an inner child meditation and bawling my freaking eyes out again. And then this week, after doing our Reiki attunements, So basically, when you get your Reiki attunement, the energy, did we already say this? The energy is going through each of your chakras, removing blockages. Right? And so those blockages can be stored, unresolved emotions and energy and stuff. I found it coming up that like all of these feelings that I felt as a child, and it's crazy because like I said, I can't say that there was anything wrong with my childhood, but as children, we have such undeveloped nervous systems and we can't process things emotionally the way that we can now as adults. So simple little things can turn into these feelings of being unloved or like fear, like
not good
it's
enough.
Just not good enough.
Majority.
It's huge. So it's just wild how much that I'm realizing of a part that plays in our physical health.
Yeah. And going back into it, you're right. Like, it doesn't matter how great your childhood is. There's always going to be something that you could be sitting with as a child that you never understood then, and then you make it into something as an adult, as the story. And this is the reason why.
Exactly. And you might not even know that it's a story.
No.
That
And now it's a part of you.
It's
who you are.
Like your guys' that was an episode, was that an episode?
Oh, triggered as fuck or no.
We're not sure.
My memories.
We just do it and then we forget about it because we're on to the next thing.
I'm a living in the moment kind of person, and this is why Kristen complimented me because I was like, get down myself. I'm like, my memory sucks. I don't remember yesterday. She's like, Tiff, you really live in the moment.
Yeah,
that's good.
Lisa said the same thing to me too. She's like, damn girl.
Yeah, because I'll have to say to Tiffany, like, I start saying, I'm like, remember, and I'm like, no, you don't remember, so I'm just going to tell you again. Natalie, something that just came up that was really cool for me, it's almost like you were, like you said, you were doing all these, like, going to school and doing all these things. You were in a race to, like, basically figure out to be good enough and, like, perfection and always be doing something and, like, never let yourself be still. And the disease that you got was called stills.
Oh God!
And in order for you,
I have goosebumps.
In order for you to get clear and heal, you needed to get still.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, KK did it again. Oh
crazy.
Yes.
Wild. It's true.
It is true. That is very true, and that is every time there is sickness or injury is a time to sit you down still so you can rethink whatever it is you need to rethink, whatever resonates with you in that moment. But it is meant for you to stop doing what you're doing so you can figure this shit out.
Yeah. And people just look at those things sometimes as like a hindrance and, oh, this is slowing me down. It's slowing us down for a damn reason.
Why is this happening to me?
No.
Oh my gosh.
It's happening.
So, yes. And around this time where I met you and started getting into all this stuff and mindset and emotional healing and everything, like, I started reading all these books, like, what's the one? The Universe Has Your Back.
Yeah. Oh, Gabe.
Yes.
Gabby.
We
love her.
She's my best friend. She doesn't even know it.
Yep, mine too. Like life is happening for you, not to you. And I think in the moment, that was something that I did not think at all. And it's really hard to sit in those feelings when you are in those places. But if you can do it, like, I think that is huge.
Yeah. And all those things that you sit with Lisa that we all sit with, all they've been trying to do is knock on our door and say, hello, I'm here. I need to be felt and I need to be dealt with.
Yeah.
Because if we don't deal with them,
they come back.
They will come back.
Oh, well, they're coming to F out now. Crazy.
Yeah.
And,
it's wild.
And this is why when we learned in our course how important it is to stay still and connect with your body, like, rather than just be in your head thoughts, just connect with how you're feeling and how things resonate with you. We talked about that before we started the podcast with the crystals and the intentions that we're putting in with those, the intentions that we put in with our energy and healing, and our body is meant to heal itself.
Absolutely.
It has those abilities, but if we're not paying attention, we get hit with with a freight train of illness and sickness, and those negative thoughts, I truly feel when it's a sickness.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, it's really...
It's triggered by something that's happening unnaturally in your body. It's natural to have feelings, but when you're sitting in depression or anxiety,
when it takes you over,
something's wrong. Like it's not you and it's not me.
It's an imbalance. And
it is. Something's not quite right.
Yeah. There's something unresolved.
And there's something that you can do about it.
Yeah.
And for one, like you said, it is surrendering and asking for guidance and help.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And I do believe putting things out into the universe, you do need to be specific in what you're asking for, but when you're surrendering and asking for help, that comes fast.
It does.
It comes really fast.
It does come fast. I agree.
Yeah.
I do that often. Where it's like, okay, you know what I'm doing isn't working any longer.
Yeah.
So the only opportunity or option that we need or that we have is to surrender. We need to. There's no other option.
I'm reading one of Gabby's new books today. I just started it. I'm just going to pull it up here. It is called You Are the Guru.
Oh, you can't take it off.
No, that's okay. Oops. No.
You Are the Guru.
Yeah, You Are the Guru. And there is a prayer that she says in this book that she repeats often, and it is surrendering to the problem, guide me to the solution. The problem.
So
I kind of botched it because I just
okay.
started it, but
it would be like saying, I surrender to the disease that's in my body, and then
what is the solution? What's the divine
and show me
loving solution to this? And yes, the universe will turn around and give you these stepping stones to heal.
Yeah.
You know, we are all energetic, spiritual beings. That's what we all are. We know this. We're energy. So if we ignore it and we ignore our bodies and we ignore who we are, we have to tap into it. There's no other choice.
We're going to be forced at some point.
At some point, yes.
You're right. And some people don't get awakened
maybe not in this lifetime.
Exactly.
Right. It might not be in this lifetime because you have free will to just ignore. And then, disease or ailments, different things come up. And, Is the podcast still going?
Yep.
Awesome.
So, what's funny about what you just said about how still is disease and being still?
Is it safe?
I'm saying no.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that happened.
Why did it do that?
It's just because you got out of the app and went into another app.
That's so weird.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh my god, what am I doing here? No.
No, you want to take it off airplane mode
That's
to
what I want to
save
do.
it. There we go.
You were going to say when you just said that about
what were you going to say?
Being still.
Yeah.
And still is disease, you need to be still. Another thing that so the book, what's it called? Louise Hay,
Yeah,
You Can Heal Your Life.
You Can Heal Your Life.
Yeah.
My favorite.
So when I look at EBV in there, it says that it's caused by pushing beyond one's limit.
Wow.
Deep feeling of being not good enough, draining all inner support, stress virus.
That's what I just said. Wow.
And so that's what I had. And I definitely know that when I was getting the flare-ups, I was pushing beyond my limits. And on the whole deep feeling of being not good enough. Yeah, it's crazy because that's one of the things that has come up for me in the last while. And it's nothing like my parents necessarily did or didn't do. It's for some reason just this feeling that was instilled of me. And that's, I think, why, like I said, I've just naturally have, I have a fire in me to get it,
Yeah.
Get it.
Get it.
She's learning real quick.
I love that song.
So, and I think that whole feeling of not being good enough, this gets deep. But
that's good. Go deep.
You want that approval to feel good enough. And so for me, I think I started achieving and getting good grades. Oh, I get approval from that. Oh, I'm doing this. I get approval from that.
But you didn't notice it that way until you got deep.
I had something to prove all the time and going to the point where I just wipe myself out. So,
you got that from Louise Hay?
Yeah.
What was the mantra that went with
the affirmation?
Yeah.
The affirmation.
Or that affirmation.
Oh, good question.
Hers is amazing.
Okay. Want to hear it?
Yeah.
I relax and recognize my self-worth. I am good enough. Life is easy and joyful.
And you know what's crazy about this, you guys? EBV, from the medical medium standpoint, it's in all of us, and majority of people have an issue with it. A lot of people. Some don't. But majority of people have inside of them is not good enough, and they're always chasing and striving to do more or better. And this is the opportunity to really take a moment to reflect back on yourself and turn it to you and love yourself and slow down, because all that we are required to do is love ourselves. And when we love ourselves, miracles really do happen. And there's nothing else more important than yourself. So when we turn within and start paying attention to ourselves and loving ourselves, ailments really do dissolve. It really, really works.
I believe it. Yeah.
And if you haven't, started meditation or doing meditation or self-love or self-care or counseling,
just get quiet.
Even going for a walk, most people don't spend that time in a day to reflect. And Tiffany and I kept pulling the same card, and her and I were like, what are we missing? What are we missing? And then what happened? We had an opportunity to do the Reiki class. And what it really did for me was incorporate my self-care daily. Yes, I've always incorporated it with counseling, with meditation, but never missing it, even if it's only
like a routine.
5 minutes of it.
Yeah.
And I can say for myself, I don't know about you, but I was going through a really rough time, and I just literally recently was almost turning my back on it, and I just felt worse. And then it was like doing the Reiki course. Fuck, it was just like a lightning bolt of there's not an opportunity, there's not a chance for me to not have this in my daily life every single day.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah.
If it's working.
It's working. It feels good. I feel connected. I get messages. I'm feeling happy. I'm like, oh, you get answers to problems. The solutions show up faster. So it's free. So do it.
$3.99. Right? Free 99.
For sure.
Yeah. And I feel like there was something else.
One thing that I just came to me. So I think for me, becoming a mom and having 2 young kids, one thing that, anyone who's had kids knows, it's easy for you to get put on the back burner and have your kids first there, which not to say there are times where your kids need to be first and
of course,
whatever, but it's just
you just have to make time for
you have to make time for
you have to,
because if you don't, you're gonna lose yourself, and it's gonna come back.
It's called burnout.
It's gonna come back in other
ways.
What
happens to so many women who are not in touch, and men too.
Oh, men!
If you're not in touch, men especially, because men have a tendency to
go
completely block and ignore, sweep it under the rug, and continue. I mean, I believe one of the stats I read a long time ago was men die sooner than women.
Yeah,
and I do believe it's for that
reason.
Like we naturally cluck.
We naturally so true. Express yourself.
Yes, we naturally talk about our feelings because we feel like we're gonna goddamn explode.
Yes.
I feel like it's a therapy session after having conversations with my girls. You know, like
for sure.
Every time we do a podcast, we feel like $1 million after.
Yeah.
Because
sharing is caring.
Exactly. Yeah. It's exactly it.
One thing with men, I've always felt this, I swear, this could be something that I could do, is CEOs of companies, they carry so much on their shoulders, and they're carrying the stress load of not good enough, performing, being these magical husbands or dads, and keep on going. And it's I believe CEOs especially need the most guidance, counseling, a place to escape, because the whole world's on your shoulder because you need to financially provide for your families. And then you need to also be able to be
and
there.
build a legacy.
And there's just so much.
Your role, like you're a CEO. You're
Exactly.
literally in charge.
And then you're dealing with your employees and you're dealing with the company, but then you have your home life. So,
but what if you're the CEO of your home?
For sure.
Yeah.
No, and that's I would
True.
never discredit, like, we're talking about two separate things with the roles, but I feel a lot of men, they are not seeking that help for mental health. Mental health CEOs, it's like you need it 100%. And I feel this desire, like I'd love to help CEOs to incorporate their spirituality and to incorporate their self-love.
That's cool. Yeah.
Who knows what will happen, but I'm feeling it. I've been feeling called.
Yeah.
Well, when you're not having self-love, like, cause I know the difference now because I've grown up thinking I was not good enough and I was dumb
and that was so wrong.
I know.
It's not true.
It wasn't true.
It was true for you at the time.
It was very true for me.
But you're incredible.
But the difference when I started doing my self-love and practicing loving me and like having my back.
I love how she looked at herself and she pointed at herself and she said loving me and smiled. Oh,
yeah.
Get it, girl.
Oh, get it.
You know that reminded me of? Oh my gosh. Did you guys ever see back in the? Oh my gosh. Okay. There was a guy with a pigeon. You guys don't know this?
What?
He's like, there is a pigeon.
Oh
the
my
pigeon.
God.
Do you remember that?
Charlie quotes
I
this.
love that.
My daughter.
Like,
it's a fucking TikTok thing. It's pretty
so
funny.
this was even before TikTok, but it's probably TikTok now. But he's like, there is a pigeon over there. He's like, anyways.
He's
and
actually
goes like,
really funny. He does it with like almost everything.
We should play it on here next time because it's like you have to keep
pretty
watching
funny.
it because it's so. He's like, there's a pigeon. And he's, anyway. Okay, Tiffany, what you're saying, but I loved how you. Sorry for cutting you off, but I had to express that. You looked so fierce. Like,
well, it's honestly the person I am now to the person I was like even a year ago, even before that. I'm just so different. Yes. I'm so different. Like you said, like from you 6 months ago, that was me 6 months ago. Like I was like 6 months ago, I'm like a totally different person.
Yeah.
Isn't it wild?
Like I thought I was spiritual then.
Who are you going to be in 6 months from now?
Oh, I know.
Wait. Right?
There's still so much work, and I'm so pumped and motivated
eager.
now. Like, yeah, I'm eager. I see
excited, right?
I see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Limitless.
More.
Limitless.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
Remove fear
100%.
and anything out of your life.
And doubt.
Remove fear and doubt, self-doubt.
Yeah.
Limitless.
Did you know that it actually got to a point where I had so much self-doubt in my capabilities that when it was during COVID, I could not make a Zoom call with my daughter's teacher because I didn't
feel good enough.
I could. I didn't think I could do it. So then I wouldn't do it.
So you didn't think you were like smart enough?
Yeah, to figure it out. And I wasn't good enough to be there with my daughter instead of her doing it. So I would distract myself by cleaning or working out or other things. I would distract myself. Her teacher got so frustrated with me. And he had every right to be upset because I kept fucking up the time of the Zoom and I could not get it straight.
Oh, God.
Because I was in so self-doubt of myself that I couldn't even do it. I got to a point where I couldn't even check my bank statement. I wouldn't even go online to check it because I didn't feel capable of doing it. Is it weird?
It's not weird, but
it's bizarre, and I'm sure if anybody's listening could probably resonate a little bit. Like I couldn't even get in my car to go to the store because I just didn't feel capable of doing that.
Aww.
You had no confidence.
Zero confidence.
And insecure.
Yeah, very much.
Fear.
Very much.
We've all been there.
It's just wild. Because I know now that those were just lies I was telling myself and it was total bullshit.
Wow.
And I can do these things and I am smart and I am beautiful and I am powerful and I am a healer and I am a lover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a race car driver.
Are you?
Sometimes.
Surprise.
So one cool thing that pops into my mind also was Natalie it was another time that I just reached out to you and I'm like, oh, yeah, you're coming to the Reiki course.
Oh, yeah. No, you know what that was? Okay, this is actually one more tool that I want to share that's really cool. So, you've never heard of Yoga Nidra, right?
No.
Yoga Nidra?
You've shared.
I've told you about it
a little
before.
bit, but share.
So Yoga Nidra is similar to meditation. Yoga Nidra is like sleep yoga. It looks the same as meditation. So you listen. It's a guided thing, but it actually puts you into a state of like almost between sleep and awake, similar to meditation.
Yeah.
And the really cool thing about it, so they're always like 30 to 35 minutes long because supposedly you have like a full sleep cycle in there. Okay. So it's got so many benefits, but one really cool thing is that in there, oh my gosh, try it.
I can't wait.
You can set an intention. So not only is it amazing for like falling asleep, I actually do it during the day. You can set an intention in there, and because the intention is set when you're in this particular state of your brain waves and this particular state of your like sleep-wake cycle, it's almost like a form of like self-hypnosis in a way.
Okay.
I don't know. It's very similar to meditation, and some even believe that it's a quicker way to like opening up than meditation. Okay. So anyways, through doing my Yoga Nidra, I've been doing it every day, almost every day for like 4.5, 5 months. And I started noticing weird tingling things happening in my body, which leads to this whole Reiki thing. Okay. Right? So I started noticing that my ear was tingling and it felt like my ear was opening up.
Oh.
Chakras, right?
Okay.
Ear chakras.
Yeah.
Clear audience.
Yes.
Anyways, and then I started noticing my hands. Good girl. I started noticing my hands started tingling like crazy. And it wasn't just random. It was literally when I read something and I was like,
oh,
my hands.
Okay.
Yeah, they started tingling. And so I messaged you. Of course, as usual, you do not disappoint. I was like, my hands are tingling, you know, like randomly.
Whenever stuff's happening.
Whenever stuff's happening, I'm like, I have to tell Kristen. What's she going to have for me next?
Oh my God.
So I'm like, my hands are tingling. You know, it's almost like validation. And you were like, yeah, that happens to me with my third eye. And then you're like, and what do you think about doing your Reiki level 1?
Meanwhile, her hands are tingling.
Like, hands are like
holy
tingling
shit.
like crazy. Isn't that weird?
It's not weird, and it isn't a coincidence either.
No, I know, right? It's not. It's just wild. And now it's like, woo, like tingling like crazy. And my third eye.
Good.
As well.
It's the best.
So, are we going to book our Reiki 2 together?
Yeah. Obviously.
Okay.
Of course. I'm already like, hey, where's the date? Like,
yeah, I know.
It's great. I've been enjoying, like I was going to share, I love waking up and doing the Reiki on myself. Because what happens after you do the course is you do 21 days on yourself every day. And then, of course, you can practice on other people. But I'm really enjoying that, that time. It's so different. It's cool to use your own hands to go onto your body and heal different parts of your body by yourselves. Yeah. Our hands, all of our hands are healing hands. So when you put it on your body, my knee, I didn't tell you guys this. Holy shit. So my knee, I told you actually, my left knee was hurting. And it was crazy because she was asking me about the Louise Hay affirmations about what each meaning was. And then I'm telling her, and then she ended up sharing that she asked about her knee. I'm like, why are you asking about your knee? Because I did the Reiki healing. I did the Reiki healing on her. Yeah. In the class. After I left, my left knee fucking was hurting.
She picked up some of my energy.
My left knee did not stop. So then what I did is I just did the Reiki healing on myself, on my knee. It still hurt the next morning. Did it again, and then it was gone.
Oh, there you go.
So there is that part of the training is like making sure, and we've done this in Stevie's course also, is like making sure we're kind of doing a scan of how we're feeling in our body and having that discernment. Is this mine? Is this mine? And if it's not mine, give it back. Goodbye.
Return to sender.
Return to sender.
Awareness attached.
Yeah.
Wow. I love it.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
So yeah, then my knee was fine, and my knee's been fine ever since. I haven't had a problem with my knee, but I just have to be a lot more cautious of that I'm returning to sender. Nobody's energy.
Yeah.
I don't want your energy, okay?
Oh, I'm sitting right
Loving energy.
Well, it was so funny because when we were doing the course and I was doing Reiki on Mona, and I was like, Shiona's like, said something, well, is that my energy? And I was like, and I flicked it at her. She's like, what the fuck? Don't flick it on me. And she's like, why are you doing it to me? I was like, but you said it was my energy. Like, it was yours. She's like, no, I was saying in your third part, like
to say
you say this.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, sorry.
Like, look out of the way next time. Dodge
so
this
funny.
way.
Dodge the energy flips.
So funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just goes to show every day we can instill this practice for any walks of life.
Yeah.
When you
we
all
all
have
have
a work
ability.
environment,
Yes.
let go of the energy.
Yeah.
Don't hold on to other people's energy.
Yeah.
Totally.
Keep
Yeah.
your own. Tiffany
Totally.
fucking learned that. Real
Yeah.
person.
Yes. So I spoke about this on another.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom while you guys talk. My
My
turn.
So I was really tired for years, and I just couldn't figure it out. And I had extremely like clean diet before, and like after, and then not after, and then again, and still nothing helped, nothing changed. So I did Stevie's course, and she basically was part of one of our modules is getting rid of energy that's not yours. And it hit me. I'm like, what? Okay. So I guess I was just like, I don't know whose energy this is. Is it mine? Like it's not mine. And like I'm not stressed. I'm in a good headspace, but I'm still tired between 1 and 4 o'clock. Every fucking day. It was clockwork.
Wow.
Yeah, and it just got to the point where I couldn't perform in the day the way that I wanted to. Like there was just things that I wanted to get done. Like I wanted to journal. I wanted to maybe, work on my emails. Like as soon as I got tired, I like mush, and I couldn't train. I couldn't work out. I couldn't do emails. I couldn't write, like nothing.
You felt something was off.
Completely off, and it started getting really frustrating, to be honest. Like I was just like, I'm like, I gotta go see a doctor. This is next level. Like I didn't feel like I was anemic at all. Like I'm totally aware of anemia. But there was just something else that I just couldn't put my finger on. So when we did this course, Stevie's like, okay, check yourself. And if you feel like you're carrying energy or whatever's going on, make sure you check to see if it's yours. And if it's somebody else's, give it back to them.
Yeah.
And if you don't know whose they are, just give it up to the universe or the ground or wherever. Yeah. So I did that, and I gave it back. And I actually gave it back to Dave, my husband.
Wow, okay, I remember you saying that.
This is on the podcast.
Yeah, and I talked to Dave later that evening because he was in Kelowna at the time for work, and we're on the phone call for we were just like talking about our days and like just having debriefing, and he's like, Tiff, I don't know what happened. I was eating Chinese food with the guys, and I just hit this wall. And he's a workaholic. He could work all day, all night, and like not turn off.
Oh wow!
But not anymore.
Oh, you gave it a lull back.
I did.
Oh wow!
So he's like, I don't know what happened, but I'm like so tired. And I was like, honey, when did that happen? Because my course happened earlier that evening. Yeah. And he's like, oh, like about an hour and a half ago. And that was around the time I gave it back to him. And I've probably had maybe 1 or 2 tired spells since then. But I have, it's like literally gone.
She's a new
That's
person.
Powerful.
Yeah.
She's a whole
And now
woman.
he's now started to slow down.
Yeah, well, good.
Since then.
Good, so he can actually feel his own energy.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Because he's like, why would you give it back? Because you need to feel it.
Suffer, take it from me.
And because the thing is, Tiffany, like you're sharing energy cords with your husband.
Yes.
Sever it.
I was
taking
it. Yeah, I didn't even know I was doing it, but I was totally doing that.
Yeah,
and
in Stevie's class.
Now I'm totally, I feel like a completely different woman. Like I have energy like I should have. Like, if I'm going to be eating the way I am, sleeping the way I am, and exercising the way I am, and all the other work, why would I still be tired?
Doing all the good things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
makes sense.
Wow.
Like
thanks, spirit team.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Oh, look at the light just go on.
Oh yeah,
again.
it did.
I wanted to say I'm so grateful for Nicky, Stevie, Shiona, the three of us, Lisa.
Oh yeah.
Have a fucking team.
Medical medium.
Yeah.
Medical medium.
Yeah.
Because the thing is we're calling in our soul tribe. You call in these different people that are going to be on your path, and they're going to all of a sudden present themselves. And guess what, you guys? If you're not listening and you're not actually like seeing what's being dropped in front of you, or that friend recommends something and then you're not listening and you're like, oh, I don't need to, I don't need to deal with it. Well, your spirit team is eventually going to give up and go, well, fuck, I'm trying everything, showing you signs, symbols.
Oh no, they don't give up. They hit you harder.
Yes,
that's the thing, right?
Yes, they're not going to give up, but they will not
they're going to fuck you up.
They're not going to be as gentle.
No, and then
it's going to be
exactly.
I remember I heard Shiona speak about this with her own journey, and she said first she was given a nudge, then she was given a push, and then she was given a violent push.
Yeah,
the C word.
Yeah, and I feel like that's exactly what happened to me. Like I was like, no, like not listening.
Yep.
And first I
this
got these
the
minor flare-ups and things, and then all of a sudden I was pushed literally off the side of a mountain.
We are actually meant to feel light about things, grateful, enthusiastic, looking forward to things, feeling connected and feeling the love and compassion. That's a natural good state when we're off that tilter. The hilter.
I love it, Tiffany. No, just go with it. You can make up your own language.
It's a Tiffism.
I love it.
It's a Tiffany.
A Tiffany. But when you're off that axis point where you're healthy,
there she goes. Axis.
You're you got a little work to do, and that's fine. That's part about being a human and these experiences. Because if we didn't have those experiences, it wouldn't help us grow to be that better human. And into the potential that we are.
And notice if you are off your axis, that's a perfect indication that you need help and that you need to reach out, and you can reach out to us. You can reach out to anybody.
Yes.
Like, that's your indicator right there. You're feeling depressed. You're feeling lonely. You're not feeling good enough. Those are all the signs that you need to go, I need to reach for something else. Reach for a Reiki healer. Reach for a counselor. Reach for any of these things.
We have all the recommendations here, but if you don't want ours, just definitely there's lots out there.
Just be mindful to do your research on these people, because not every energy healer can always come from the most divine background.
Yeah, well, it depends on where they're at, and
so just trust us. Okay?
So do what feels good for you, but have your discernment.
Yes, exactly,
and do your research,
of course,
exactly,
always. And then ask you guys.
That's pretty much what she's always like. Oh, Kristen. I'm like,
yeah.
I've actually have had people message me just to talk.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yes, like just I need to know I'm not crazy. Kind of conversations. I'm like, you're not crazy. You're perfect.
Yeah.
Just where you are. You're just you
Yeah.
really are going through a lot.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And give yourself that permission and that compassion.
Yeah.
Oh my
deserve
gosh.
it.
I just remembered something.
What?
So, because when you were saying that, I was like, okay, because I've changed so much in the last
6 months.
6 months or so.
Huge.
My husband, I think he's starting to be like,
Worried.
what are you doing?
Worried.
Why are there crystals covering our room? And what are you doing there? So he thinks I've gone nuts, and I think some of my friends think I'm nuts too. But that's okay, because I know I'm not nuts.
Exactly.
But
they just haven't woken up yet.
well, he now has a little collection of 2 crystals.
Does he?
And he said to me that he's recognized since he's had them, he doesn't feel this like anger and like these crazy strong emotions anymore. So he's coming around. But so this is what I wanted to tell you, is that since I've been opening up like spiritually, this crazy thing happened in our house.
Yes. What?
Okay, so a couple months ago, in the middle of the night, my daughter comes running into our room crying, and she says to me that someone touched her.
Oh, you told me that you tell us. Tell everybody, please.
So she says, somebody touched me, mommy, and she's crying. You know, whatever. You think, oh, she's just a kid. She's having a bad dream. Well, simultaneously, all the electronics in our room go off. So I have a power bar that's plugged in the middle of my headboard under my bed. And it has a fan and my phone charger and a light, whatever else. It all turns off. So I'm like, okay. Something's just happened. Okay. Anyway, so that was that. Then I asked her the next day, I asked her, like, who was it? What touched you? And she said it was a shadow. And I said, well, where did it touch you? And she said, the owie on my face. I was like, ooh, that's a little creepy. But anyways.
It's good that she's talking to you about
the owie on her face.
She had an owie on her face. Like, she had scratched her face, and she said somebody touched her. Like, something touched her owie. So I was like, that's kind of weird. But anyways, I just went on not thinking much about it. And then a couple weeks later, something happened again, where in the middle of the night, so first of all, it was around 3:30 in the morning, and I woke up, and I felt like my daughter had just come into my room. You know that feeling?
Yes.
You feel like somebody's there. Somebody's in my room. So I wake up, and I'm like, okay, nobody's here. I look at the clock. It's 3:30. Okay, this is weird. I try to go back to sleep. Somebody's in my room.
I bet you if you'd paid attention, like thought about it more, you'd realize that it wasn't your child's energy.
No. It wasn't.
Right.
I'll tell you who it was. So I try to go back to sleep. Somebody's still there. Anyways, I fall back asleep, and then I wake up like an hour later, and my son this time has fallen out of his bed, and he's crying. So I go to his room, and I get him. He wants to go to the washroom. So I'm standing in our bedroom at the ensuite washroom door, which is like, I would say like 3 meters, like say where your flowers are. Further, 3 meters away is my bedroom door. My son's on the toilet. My daughter's in her bed. My husband is in our bed, and he's awake because my son is crying. He's woken him up. Out of nowhere, my bedroom door slams shut.
And your window's not open in your bedroom?
No.
Ew.
It slammed shut. And we both saw it. We're both like,
Oh, really?
Yeah, my husband saw it too. So we were like, oh, okay. So we put our son back to bed, and we were like, we couldn't go back to sleep.
Yeah.
And anyways, and the next day, of course, I end up messaging Nicky to be like, what just happened? Do I need to like sage the shit out of my house? Like, what's going on? Which I did. I did sage it.
You do it anyway.
And then I'm talking to somebody, Lisa actually, on our appointment, our Zoom call or whatever. And I mentioned to her that, you know, what happened. And so basically she tapped in. She said, do you want to know who it was? I was like, yeah. So she taps in and she tells me, she's like, I'm getting that it's a neighbor of yours and she really likes your family. And she's just hanging out in your home. And I'm thinking like, that's weird. Like, I don't really know any of my neighbors that have, like, I don't know. And she's basically like, well, you know, do you want her there? Like, or do you want her to leave? And I was like, well, yeah, I want her to leave. So she was like, well, what do you say to her if you want her to leave? And I was like, can you please leave my house? And she was like, is that how you would talk to a stranger if you literally had a stranger in your home?
No.
And I was like, no.
So get the fuck out.
Get out of my house now. Like, go over to your door, open the door, and say, get the fuck out of my house. I do not want you here. You're not welcome here. Get out now. So that's what I did. And then afterwards, I told my husband, who thinks I'm crazy. He thinks that this is happening because I've got my crystals and whatever else here. I tell my husband what Lisa had said, and he's like, oh my God. He's like, our neighbor. He's like, didn't you remember that our next door neighbor passed away a couple months ago?
Oh.
Literally.
I just got goosebumps.
So I did not connect the dots, but our next door neighbor, who was really odd, like she never came out of her house. I think and so Lisa told me that she had some mental health problems and stuff, and I never connected the dots. And then my husband was like, that's our neighbor. So, isn't that wild?
Now, Kate, you told me a bit of this story when we did our course, but there was a part of it that
that you left out.
What part
forgot?
What part did I leave out?
I can do it. You want me to tell you?
Yeah, tell me.
That she thought that she could parent better than you guys.
Oh my gosh! So Lisa also tells me, she's telling me about this person, and she goes, yeah, she's your neighbor, and she likes your family, and then she says, but she also thinks that she can do a better job parenting. than you guys. So she's in my house fucking
thinking petting your daughter's
face. And then you know what freaked me out? Then when I connected those dots is when my daughter said that she touched her face, like her owie. I was like, oh, like I got goosebumps right now.
And because kids are very connected to the other side because they're not.
It wasn't that long ago.
Yet.
It wasn't that long ago since they were there, and
yeah,
they're very innocent.
Is that wild?
That is wild.
Yeah, so hopefully she's gone.
Because I remember you and I had that conversation, and I said about saging. I'm like, well, if you don't fucking open the door, it's like having people run around your house hiding. You gotta open the door.
So I opened the door. Never again will I forget to open the door. Never again.
I need to see this video.
You do.
Can you please send it to me?
Video too.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's important. Like energy is just energy, and it's just about standing in your power, like you would even up to another human.
Yeah.
People can cross boundaries, and you know what? You're just opening up, and you're a light, and people like light, so you're gonna be drawn to that shit. So protect yourself in the sense of stand in your power and be like. Nobody
you do. You have to have boundaries. And that goes back like what we were just talking about, but also what goes back to what we were talking about earlier in terms of boundaries with other people and yourself, with not pushing yourself too hard, with standing up for yourself,
having discernment for that.
Yeah, your own body, the rest you need,
the rest was huge. You were going to touch on that actually.
Yeah, well, that too. I mean, the rest as well as the, your mental and emotional states. Like you need to have boundaries on all that. It goes full circle. And what you were just, I think, going to say is, well, one of the things that I did, one of the reasons I think that I didn't go into like a full-blown flare when I had my first daughter is, well, I was completely exhausted and sleep deprived when she was born, and I was worried about spiraling. Like sleep is so important in our health, right? It's right up there with like
people don't understand the importance of it.
No,
they really don't.
You can't, be not sleeping and then celery juice away like EBV or counseling away trauma when you're literally not sleeping. Like it's huge too, right? So, I was having such a hard time when my daughter was born, with her sleep and her being up like literally every hour during the night. She was one of those. Yeah. And I had tried to get, I literally bought every sleep book off Amazon. I would sit there and read them while she was sleeping on me type thing. And we tried getting her sleeping in her own room and not on me so many times, and it was not working. And so we ended up actually hiring a sleep consultant to help us so that we could get sleep. And it was one of the most amazing experiences that I had because I got my own time back and started getting sleep again and started feeling more like myself. So much so to the point that I actually became an infant and toddler sleep consultant.
Woo!
So
I'm so glad this came up because if you didn't say it, I was.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like CA, accounting, audit, turned sleep consultant. So that's what I do now because having sleep is just so important. It made a huge impact on me and on my kids and just my ability to heal. Like how else am I going to do all this stuff? Yeah. How else am I going to do my meditation? How else am I going to meal prep?
You wouldn't be able to.
How else am I going to exercise?
You'd be insane.
Without having your kids in bed.
Yeah.
At certain times, they're getting the rest they need. You're getting the rest you need and the time to yourself. So it's huge. So I made that switch, 2.5 years ago or so.
Okay.
For 2.5 years working with families, young families.
So how many hours do kids need to sleep?
Depends on the age.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about 4-year-old?
A 4-year-old? About 12 hours. Like there's a range, I would say 11 and a half to 12 and a half hours.
Holy.
And usually they're not napping anymore at that point, so that would all be at nighttime. Yeah. Although some 4-year-olds do still nap, but yeah. Good. How much sleep does he get?
And how many?
Well, when he's with me, that he's always covered for sure.
Yeah,
because
that's the thing.
I'm asleep. Okay, you need to get this many hours because I know the brain, and he's developing, and he's becoming this being that he needs to be able to have his brain grow, and he needs to sleep, and that's when you're healing is at night for his body to do its thing. That's why Yoga Nidra is so amazing.
I can't wait.
Try it and let me know what you think. When we're sleeping, I can send you some links of some good ones on Insight Timer.
Perfect.
Too.
Yes.
Because when we're sleeping, so there's different stages of sleep, like non-REM and REM, rapid eye movement and non-rapid eye movement. And during certain stages is when we release like growth hormone and all these amazing hormones that help our body to heal and beauty. Yeah. And so they need it. And when they don't get their sleep, they don't act right. They don't think right. They're like a mess.
Yeah,
it's
Cassius
just like,
acts up when he
of course.
So do we. Do you know much about this cerebral fluid in our brains when we're sleeping?
Not really.
Okay. I just got like super nerdy on this like podcast. I'll share this podcast with you. But
with all of us.
Yeah. Well, it's on Anchor. I'll put it on. My necklace is turning. I'll put it on in our show notes. Maybe even if I can find the episode, but basically that fluid in our brain, it helps it so our brain isn't hitting our skull.
Okay.
And a panel of scientists were doing some tests on it to see what it actually was for, other than just cushioning your brain. And there wasn't a lot of action with that fluid. It was just a real kind of standstill. It was just kind of there. And then they tested it when people were sleeping. And when we were sleeping, and it had to be it might have been the REM sleep. Yeah, it might have been. It might have been. But the fluid would get so active. It was literally racing all around the brain, in and out of all the crevices of the brain. And then that's why the saying goes, you're being brainwashed when you're sleeping.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yes, because it is compartmentalized. Thank you.
Compartmentalizing.
So it's organizing your thoughts and the things that happened that day. So it's kind of like that movie Inside Out.
That's exactly it.
Yes.
And so that's why sleep is extra important for children, because they're learning so much. It's like you have this like shopping cart, you're at the grocery store and you're putting all these things in. Like say you're putting in like certain skills and
like
things
anger,
that
sadness, happiness,
or even just things that they develop and learn. Like, I learned this today, or lesson.
Walking.
Yeah, exactly. Or even like more like the soft skills and lessons and stuff. And if you don't get to that state of your sleep, you're like not checking out. You're not like
that's
grocery store with all those things. So it's like super important for children as well to be able to get through those sleep cycles, which they can't do if they're not.
What, Kristen?
Oh, my neck. Sorry.
Oh,
I have to look to the right because I'm looking to the left. So
to the left.
Everything you own in your box to the
we love to sing. That's so
it.
funny. Okay, so it does remind me a little bit of that movie Inside Out, where like some of those thoughts that really aren't serving us goes into a place where you just don't think about it anymore. You're like, don't need that thought. But we need this one because we're going to learn from it. And I was feeling this at this point and this at this and all the things. But yeah, so that being said, that's why I could probably tie in a little bit of the meditation part, because there is so much going on during the day that we just need a break, especially if you're overstimulated and you're kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You need to like go back to nap time.
Yeah, or quiet time.
I take my
even quiet time.
Yeah, I do that with Kasia. Sometimes we'll just go and rest and chill out.
Yeah, chill out. Do that. Take a 15, sit in a chair and just don't think. Feel your feet on the ground. Yeah. Feel the chair. Feel your weight. Yeah. All the things.
So what is your? Well, you haven't been doing your sleep consulting due to healing yourself.
Yeah.
You've taken a moment for yourself, which is great.
So you know it's wild. When I had Logan, and I was having that flare up at the time with the pericarditis, the heart stuff and whatever, I was working during that. In fact, I was on my phone answering client emails within like an hour or two after he was born in the hospital. See what I mean? Still. Be still, woman.
Holy
no
shit.
Kidding.
So finally I was like, okay, I can't keep filling cups of others from this empty cup. Like I need to get back on my axis.
Yes.
And from my own source.
Yes.
100%.
I love your language.
I do too.
Look at you.
I
from
know.
6 months ago. Even from just meeting you at the freaking park.
Yeah, literally, that was like a different person. It's crazy.
Ah.
I remember you saying that to me, and I was like, yeah, I'm a different person too. But now I'm like, whoa, like I don't know that person anymore. Whoa.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Tiffany, sit back. Look at the difference.
I know. I'm like, where'd you go? Look how big I am.
Oh, is that why I look so like...
But sit back, Tiff. Are you sitting back?
Now I know.
There we go.
Aww.
Cute. We're like Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, because I'm sitting in front of you a little bit, I felt like an egghead.
An egghead.
Look how big my head is compared to yours.
I have a small head.
Look at
I
that.
have a small head.
No, but look at me.
I have a really big dome. My
I
son
was
got it too.
Tiff,
Got a
it's
big
good.
head.
I like sitting back now just because I'm not looking to the left. It's starting to hurt
To the left.
my spine.
Yeah.
Taking a box.
Yeah. So should we pull a card, or do we have more stuff to talk about? How are we? We're only.
I feel like we could sit here forever.
We're only 2 hours and 7 minutes in.
2 hours and 7
That's
minutes.
it. That's all.
Yes, 2:07, 41, 42, 43.
That's okay.
Ooh.
That's okay. We had lots to talk about.
Oh,
That's
that's
how-
good. We're gonna split this up. 'cause
Well, I
no
don't
one's gonna
like
sit.
breaking up the energy of the conversations.
No.
I'd rather it just
flow.
go with the flow, whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There was something I wanted to say, but
You could say it after the cards.
oh, I know.
Oh.
For me, since being Reiki attuned,
Well, good word.
thank you.
Mhm.
My dreams have been wild.
Really?
Oh,
Wild.
That's
And
so cool.
I told Tiffany about my dream, so I have to share it.
Do it.
Share away.
It's at 4:03.
Whoa.
So last night, Drake, he decided. So I won a contest that my picture won. I got notified, and I was like, "What? This is so cool! I won!" And I'm like, "What did I win?" So that I was going to be photographed, and that my photo was going to be on like the front of the CD. It was the CD back then, but on the album. So I had to go to this location and do the photo, and I remember like taking my photos, and in my dream my ass was a lot bigger for some reason.
She had my ass.
It was just like, and I just remember like I was being like kind of by a door and just like taking these photos.
Yeah.
And then afterwards he was kind of insinuating like, let's do something. And I'm like, no. I'm like, do you know who I am? I'm like, I don't do that. Like, that's the last thing. I'm like, if you want to have me on your album, then you can have me on your album, but not for any other reason. I'm not sleeping with you for anything. Anyways, so then it just like turned around to be like fine. He's like carried on with his business, and then all of a sudden he's going on the stage to perform and going in like an elevator, and then I'm going on my own to like go watch the concert. And then those dreams where you're going and you can't fucking find, like you're not able to get to where you're supposed to go.
Okay, yeah.
And that's what was happening. So it was like forever that I was trying to get there and I couldn't get there. But I don't know what that means.
Reiki dreams.
But
Woo.
my dreams ever since.
It's okay.
I'm
It's
flustered
okay.
from thinking about dreams. So, yeah, my dreams every day since being attuned have been just amazing. Like, I'm just remembering them.
I
That's
have
cool.
to say the same. It's been a long time since I've been remembering my dreams, and
Like that.
since I've opened my third eye, my dreams have been very vivid.
Yeah.
When did you open your third
She's like, last night at 4.
eye?
It's just like a slow process, right?
Yeah, I don't even remember the exact defining moment when it happened, but I do know that it's really because of the work that I'm doing.
Mhm.
Like it is like
It's the pineal gland inside of your brain that just starts. It's like hardens. It hardens. What? Say it.
I did think you were gonna say penis, and now you're saying it's hard. Sorry, it's like erect nipples.
Oh my god.
That's
So
funny.
our pineal gland, like, it slowly hardens more and more as we age, as we become older, as people just cut off our confidence, and as we learn other people's ways and conditioning, so now it's just we're chipping away at it by doing the work, by doing the counseling, doing Reiki, doing meditation.
Where is this gland?
It's a pineal. I thought it's inside of your...
I thought it was right here.
So this is your third eye.
I thought it was right under your third eye.
But the pineal gland is in your brain.
Google.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, let's go. I'll do it on my phone. Let's do it so we know.
Do it. Do it.
On DuckDuckGo, because DuckDuckGo is the best place.
I need this app.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's right on my first thing that I press now for my Googling. Okay. Pineal. How do you spell it?
Voice it. Pineal gland. Spell penis.
I think you just wrote.
I'm just putting location.
You put penis.
No.
Penal gland. Penis L gland.
Oh god.
It's in your brain, right there.
Oh, it is there. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the back or the front?
It's in the back. So it's right. It's a very
okay.
Right here. The pineal gland is located.
Oh yeah, look at that.
It's very small. Yeah, it's by there. It's very small. So I'll just show. So in your brain, it's actually right at the back there. It's a tiny little.
That's cool.
It looks like it's in the middle.
What? No, that's the big one. It's behind the big
that
one.
little thing.
It's behind the thalamus.
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, back there.
Got it.
Anyway, so that just kind of hardens and crusts over. This is actually science. This is known. This isn't just made up. If you actually.
But if you do the work, it doesn't harden.
So when you're born, it's open. Yeah. And that's why a lot of kids will say, "Mama," like they say a lot of things like, "Oh, like your daughter, she saw and felt somebody touch her face," because it's not crusted over.
Oh, okay.
So that's why people can like open it back up is by chipping away at it and doing the work. But it hardens. That's just what happens. At a certain age, it just gets closed off and closed off and closed off as adults trump our imagination or our like think about all the little kids that would go, "Oh, I had this imaginary friend," and their parents just chop it off as that's weird or you don't or right, and then it hardens.
Like I know I have some family members that like as they got older they got really really grumpy, like angry.
Well,
it just
is
that like a crusted over cut off.
Well, I think what it would be is just depression and not good enough and not worthy enough, not liking themselves, and then it just tramples into more.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, let's pull a card, guys. Let's
do it.
We're gonna do work your light. Do you mind pulling that for me, please?
Not at all.
Thanks. This is a great episode. This is a lot of fun having you on. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for sharing.
You have so much to share.
Yeah, I feel like there's even more.
Probably.
There's a lot that you've been through, but we're so grateful that you've come up with our side.
I'm so grateful too. Thank you.
And your dad, like, guiding you along the way and
just
giving you the people that you need.
I know. Yeah.
It's so true. It all happens for a reason.
Okay.
Get aggressive. Get aggressive. Getting aggressive. What?
Okay.
Were you not satisfied with the one?
Well, I just wanted to, I always like to finish my shuffle right to the end.
Okay.
Maybe.
Oh, I love it.
Deep replenishment. Retreat, rest, be held.
Oh my gosh.
You just can't make that up. Look.
Every time.
It's beautiful too. Look at her.
Wow.
She's just standing there.
That's basically what we were saying.
Yeah.
Be still.
Be still.
Don't get still disease. Be still.
Yeah. That's crazy. I don't know if
I
like
love it.
Deep
Natalie,
replenishment.
Watching or listening to the other podcasts, I don't know if you've listened to the end of them, but every time we pull a card, it is 100% perfectly fitting.
Yeah, I know.
It's unbelievable. I think there was one time where we were just like, but we definitely found a meaning in that we were just weren't. We had to get some clarity out of that one, but
very cool.
Yeah, it was like in the beginning stages of it all.
Yeah.
But this is amazing. You guys are amazing.
You're amazing.
We had an amazing episode here. I hope everybody enjoyed Miss Natalie and her experience and all
her journey.
All the things. I know there's going to be some resonance there. So if anybody has any questions for her or you want to reach Natalie, is there...
What's your Instagram?
Yeah. My Instagram, Natalie Cavaco, XO, I think it is.
We'll put it in our notes.
Yeah.
And what about your?
We'll put it in the show
your sleep
notes.
training.
We sleep. So the company I work for is called We Sleep, WEE Sleep, and you can also find me on Instagram at WeSleep_Natalie. And I'm not working right now, but if you do need sleep help, there's a lot of consultants that we work with that can help.
Okay.
So don't hesitate to reach out.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yes,
and
thank you so
yeah,
much.
we'll put everything in the show notes.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe,
Thank
rate, and
you.
review, because you know what? You guys are the ones that are keeping us alive by listening to us. So we're very grateful.
The feedback's amazing.
Yeah, we're loving it.
Oh, and there is something I put into our last podcast, and I'll just say this now, that if you if you rate and review our show on Apple Podcasts, take a picture, send it to us, and we'll take you out for your favorite drink, whatever it is.
Ooh.
Heavy metal drink. Your celery.
Usually it's just easy to send you a gift card or whatever it is, but it'll be on the house from us, because it is so appreciative when we get those rate and reviews. It helps our
It helps us get out there.
Yes.
And you're supporting us. And don't forget to tag us. Miss Ruth, thank you for for sharing on your post, but you forgot to tag us at rawbabes101. We need you guys to do at rawbabes.
Definitely.
So, yeah, thanks. We love you guys.
That was amazing.
I was like, oh.
Holy shit.
I
You're birthing something out of your throat.
I had a bubble.
All right, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Okay, we're ending it off here. 2 hours, 18 minutes.
That's
Thanks for
amazing.
tuning in.
Thank you guys.
Peace.
Thank you, Natalie. We love you.
Love you guys.